We're back at the Eye, live right here at the Austin Convention Center. It's Potato Expo time. This is one of those events every year that I really look forward to, because it's the opportunity to talk to the experts, not only about potatoes, but about agriculture. We talk to farmers, we talk to producers, we talk to the people who keep our water and soil, clean, and also we get to talk to people like this guy, the co-editor of World Potato Markets, Cedric, who's based in the UK.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us once again. So, I've got to tell you, and I know this is a question you're probably asked every 5 minutes. So let's start with Brexit.
Okay.
What kind of disaster is Brexit for ag and for potatoes?
Is it a disaster? To me, it's a sort of bit striking. Coming from England, political chaos over borders and relationship with neighbours, come here and it seems a similar issues. But yeah, Brexit, a key week coming up. We've got a big vote next week on the Theresa May, the Prime Minister's deal that was negotiated with the EU. It looks like she might just sneak it, but it looks more likely that it will be defeated, and then we're into unknown territory. And for me, I think it's going to be a delay of Brexit, which is meant to happen at the end of March, and I think that will be delayed. But that puts us into a real uncertainty. And for farmers, there is a great sort of uncertainty. There's a fear that if there is what they call a cliff edge Brexit, where there's no deal, then there will be tariffs on imports and exports. The suppliers of fertilizers and feed and other inputs have made contingency plans and tried to bring as much from the EU into the UK as much as they can before the Brexit date, just in case there are any problems of supply. For EU potato fry producers, there's about 20,000 trucks of fries go from mainly Netherlands and Belgium into the UK every year. So a delay to that, any tariffs on that, 15% tariffs is a big issue. UK farmers now know that they are going to get a different support regime. At the moment they get direct supports. That is going to stop from 2021. It's going to be gradually reduced to nothing by about 2028, and some sort of payments for environmental and social public goods, they're calling it. So some real significant changes. You say a disaster. I think there are farmers who are thinking, and actually this would probably be my view, that if Brexit is going to happen, let's do it in a positive way. At the moment, it seems to have been a problem that's trying to manage rather than an opportunity that's trying to be grasped. If you're looking at the global market is outside Europe. Europe's the first continent in the world ever to be having the population declining outside war and famine and disease. So if the European market is going to grow, it's going to have to be looking outside the world. And this is where it competes with the US and North America. A presentation at the Business Summit. Opportunities there this year for Canadian and US exporters because of a big drought in Europe last year. Europe's smallest production of potatoes ever, and much more consolidation in 4 or 5 countries that produce.
So why is the crop the smallest ever?
This was
because of the weather conditions.
Yeah, fewer potatoes have been planted and grown over the last 20-30 years, particularly since the decline of the fall of the Berlin Wall 30 years ago. Potatoes became a much more sort of consolidated crop. You're now getting larger growers growing it, and there's more than 50% of the crop European crop is now just grown in 5 countries: France, Netherlands, Germany, UK and Belgium. So it's a sort of consolidating crop. But when we had a drought last year, worst drought for 40 years, temperatures well into the 90s for a long period of time, potatoes were really badly hit because only about sort of 30% of the crop is irrigated, so very much affected by the lack of water.
So needless to say, in the past year, And until we talk again next year at the Potato Expo, you're going to be very busy.
It's a busy time.
Reporting on this.
I'm writing about Brexit and potatoes. You know, I suppose for journalists and consultants, then
it's an exciting time.
It's an exciting. It is exciting. Just looking forward to Las Vegas. I had the thought that we've got Potato Expo at the same time as the CES tech show. Is there anything that we can do? You know, in terms of agricultural tech, it seems that's I know we talked about last
mix,
year.
Yes.
There's a massive growth in that and massive investment in that. Just looking at the John Deere presentation at the business.
John Deere, you look at everything. In fact, John Keeling and I were just talking about. I was talking to a farmer, not a potato farmer, but a row crop farmer, just about 2 weeks ago, and she was telling me that now they can both identify irrigation and fertilizer in 2-inch squares, and she has 14,000 acres. Wow.
This is exciting because we can produce. We need to produce more from the land we've got to protect the land, the more vulnerable land for environmental purposes. So it's again very exciting times. For me, that longer term challenge of addressing climate change and using tech and things like that. That's where the real excitement. Some of the nitty gritty of the politics I think we're getting a bit fed up with that. We want to be looking forward to.
We are. And on that note, Cedric, as always, thanks so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you for keeping us all informed about what's going on globally with potatoes. So, quick break. We'll be right back.